Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike and I'm coming at you with another video. This is I want to talk to you about the Magic Square Light of Justice, the MS-B18X Plus. What this really is their version of a Legends Optimus Prime, and it's a 2.0 paint job. Now this is a super metallic paint job. I'm going to talk about this guy. I'm going to talk about how this could be a game changer for Magic Square in both Legends and possibly in the Masterpiece line. I did get this at Show Z. I'll have a link down below where you could get yours. We'll talk about this coming up. So here it is in the box. That's what the box looks like. A lot like the other one. And there's the side and the back. So I kind of think that they've already got this set up to where you have Prime on this side and there's like a small clam and a big clamshell for the trailer and all that. And so they're setting it up to start selling this guy by himself without the trailer in future releases. All right, so here he is in his alt mode. And I gotta say it's a nice looking alt mode. It definitely looks like Optimus Prime, and I like the bling bling, and it looks more like a car with this updated paint job. Let's take a quick look at the Roller figure. Here is Roller, and he's silver. Not much paint on him at all. He's got a little paint right here. As you can see, there's a hole so you can plug in the gun either here or here, either place. I think it's a little easier in this slot. It's really, really tight. I don't think he's actually painted. I think he's just silver. In fact, he's got less paint than the first version. We're going to look at that here in just a second, but getting a closer look at this guy. He does roll okay, and he's got the trailer attached. It doesn't really clip in, it just kind of hangs out there, but it's fine. It looks good. I think this trailer is actually a better trailer than the 1.0, the first version of the trailer, so not that bad. We're going to take a closer look at the trailer here in just a second. Let's take a good look at this guy, and looking at this, it is a little bit better, in my opinion, with these actual windows versus just painted windows, so it makes it look a little bit more high-end. For some reason, these we're holding in better. Maybe I should have used the complete fisted hands, not the partially open hands. That might be why those are not closed all the way, because I know that this can be a lot better with that. But anyway, looking at it, it's still really a solid overall bot mode, or alt mode. It looks good. The paint on it really makes it pop, rolls really well, and gets the job done with that. The bottom looks like this. And yeah, it's just a nice looking mode. It's a good looking figure. I do feel like though, the overall design, this is still a bit too thick, but with it so small, I'm not going to complain about that really at all. Let's do a little bit of comparisons of the trailer to the first one. So this is the one that came with the first one that wasn't painted, and it looks about the same shade of gray, maybe slightly darker, but you're gonna notice that it has black on here. And I don't really think that really made sense with the first one either. But this one makes more sense with the blue. Now, it's not the metal paint, the beautiful paint that's going on there. It's just a blue plastic, but it does match it a whole lot better than that would match either of these, or any of these. So that's an issue within itself, but it's not that big of a deal because, hey, this is better. If you had the first one, you're probably complaining about that. Now, this is the new Roller versus the old Roller, and you can see the old one had some black painted seats on it, where this doesn't have any paint on it for the seats whatsoever. So that's just the slight difference. It's not a big deal. Also, this trailer, of course, you can do this whole prop it with this piece here kind of thing, and then you do have these pieces. Now those are still black, the pieces that are support struts, and those are there just like the first one. Trailer opens up in the back, and you can of course put a figure or Roller in it just like so. Close up the ramp and the doors. Very simplistic. You can also of course open up the entire thing just like you did with G1. And inside the trailer you still have all of the same molded detail that was there before. A little bit of paint accents, not a whole lot. And you have this thing here which is reminiscent of the G1 trailer. Of course you get that still. You had that in the first trailer. They maintain it for this trailer. Pretty cool. Here's a quick size comparison to the New Age Huffer and, not Huffer, New Age Brawn, and that's Magic Source Cosmos. So that's kind of how big they are. You can kind of see how big he fits into the whole grand scheme of things. So now, getting into transforming this guy, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to untab this piece here as it does tab in. And so it's a bit of a challenge to tab in. And so with that, I expect the challenge to untab. The thing is, there's going to be differences in this transformation than some of the other transformations, simply because of all of the tolerance differences because of the paint. Now, I don't think that any of these companies actually take into account tolerances changing because of paint. Now, you're going to fold this down, and you're going to free all this up. We're going to get these legs done, separate the legs right here, and we're going to do one at a time. So for that, we're going to have to kind of lift this up, fold this piece out, fold this out. We're going to explode that leg just a bit. Since we have this where it is, we could go ahead and fold this piece here in. And I do feel like it's kind of a challenge. Let's combine our oars it down first. Let's bring this leg down first. Now we'll have room to fold this all the way down into here. And then we can fold this. You see how it kind of can push in and compress in. We're going to compress it in, slide it into the leg. Let's see if I can get that more dainty from here. Get it compressed in, slide it into the leg. There it goes. And now the leg's fully there. We're going to make sure we have this heel spur out right now at this point in time, at this juncture, and then we're going to fold all of this over, tab it in, and make sure everything's lined up just right, and it looks lined up just right. Fold out the toe, make it flat. We got one leg. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So what we're going to do, pull this piece down, fold this out, and then fold it out all the way. We're exploding the leg. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get the combiner oars foot out. We fold this piece in. And be careful. Hold this while you're folding this. All right? As you're looking at my nature spudgers there. These are my nature spudgers. They work, and I can feel if it's too tight. So now, with all this in place, we're going to bring that out just a bit so we can fold all this around and compress this in. Get it into the leg, and there it is. And now we're going to fold all of this into place, tab it all in. Let's see if it's tabbed in, fold this out. Did I get the heel spur out? I did not get the heel spur out in time. So let me see about that, getting this heel spur out. It's a little bit more challenging to get out later. It's fun to kind of screw something up and then fix it on the fly, isn't it? So there we go, we got that other leg done, and he's going to balance just a bit. Let's see if I can get this down just a little more, get a little bit more balance to him, and we're going to move it up to the top. We got to work on the top part here, and basically we're going to pull back on this. Oh man, that didn't fall off till now, whatever. Pull back on this and kind of bring the arm out, and we're going to fold out the hand. So this piece here is on a slider, so you have to unslide that to pull it out, and then it'll start folding around once you've slid it out, and then as you fold it, get it on screen. So you slide it out, and then as you fold it, you're going to fold this piece in, fold it around, and you've pretty much got an arm done. So let's do the other one a little more gracefully. We are going to pull, and see, that's kind of when I'm starting to knock that stack off. We're going to pull that out and then do pretty much just like with the G1. Fold this out, and then we can fold the hand out, pull this piece here back, and as you're pulling it back, you can fold it over. The tolerance on this is so much tighter than on the other one because of the paint. And this is one of those issues right there. So be careful, and again, if it's too tight, don't force it. Definitely don't force it. Okay, so next thing, we're going to open up the chest here and see how much we can get the arms sort of out of the way for this maybe. Open up the chest here, and then we're going to disconnect these pieces, rotate this chest around, and now we're going to fold these down and out. Now, with that, we need to rotate this around, and then rotate this around here, and this is going to fold up into here. Let's make sure we have the chest cavity properly set up to go into place in the chest as we connect all of these pieces. Now on the back here, you're going to have to fold this up to go into that spot there, and then you'll get the clearance to finally close all this all of the way and have that done. There it is, more or less. Now you can fold the waist around and bring it down. Bring his arms down into place. Now we got to get his head out, so you can open this up. Bring his head up. You're going to pull this whole assembly back, fold this piece forward, lift his head up all the way, get it aligned in there just right, and it folds in and aligns like that. So you've got a lot of hinging going on, and then you can close the back piece up, clean up everything, and he should be pretty much good to go. Let's have a look at him. Right, so here he is in his robot mod, and this is an absolutely stunning, beautiful version of the figure. I absolutely love the way this guy looks. He has a lot of shine, a lot of bling. Just you can see it reflecting as you turn it, and it seems like pretty much everything's painted. I think the silver of the legs is just silver flex plastic, and I think the same thing the silver here, but all of the red is painted really, really well. I do believe this is paint right here, because if you see how it glistens, I mean, plastic doesn't glisten just like that. That is absolutely beautiful. I would love to see this in the Masterpiece scale, if they would make the Masterpiece one with this kind of a paint job. And I was not impressed with the one Masterpiece paint job. I wasn't impressed with the first version of this guy, but I'm very, very impressed with this. I like the way it looks. Now, of course, for articulation, it's still pretty much the same, head side to side, not much up and down. You do have the 360 in the shoulders all the way around, and then his arm goes out. It doesn't really have much. You can pull it out for like the transformation. It doesn't have too much going that way, but and I don't want to stress it, I don't want to chip any of this paint. It does look really good. Also 90 at the elbow. You do have the bicep swivel, you have the hands that move, and you have all of the swappable hands, which is real easy to swap. For the waist swivel, and then you have this massive ab crunch. You can do as much as you want with it or as little as you want with it, and it holds in place really well. You do have the thigh swivel. You have these flaps that pop up, and they're real tight. And I think that a lot of things on this feel so much tighter than the other one because there is paint on it. So getting these flaps up, and you can go out pretty much to there and pretty close to a 90 front and not quite a 90 to the back. And then you have double jointed knee. Doesn't give you the full range of the double joint. And you have the knee that goes with it. The knee moves with that also. And then down here you have the ankle tilt. It's kind of all like basically on, feels like it's just on the foot there, the toe. You get a little up, a little bit down. Not a whole lot, but everything you pretty much would need, and everything, of course, you had with the first release. So here are the accessories that he comes with. He comes with the Energon axe, the 2 sets of hands, a pointing set, a closed fist hand, the matrix, smokestacks, long and short smokestacks. And I do want to point out the smokestacks in this one hold in very well because of the paint, and it makes it a whole lot tighter. We got this thing here and the matrix. So let's have a look at these things and what we can do with them. So when you open up his chest, of course, you can plug the matrix in. It's just got a little hole there and a tab, and you tab it in like so, and you've got his matrix in his chest. It looks pretty good. Let's see if it looks any different than the other one. It does. Let's get that into focus here. Is it focusing? Is it focusing? They look about the same. It looks like the newer one's just a tad bit darker. As for the hands, real simple. You just pop the hands out and you put in, and I do like the pointing finger hand. So I'm going to put the pointing finger hand in, pop it in, and there it goes. And sort of wondering there, before we get into full comparisons, do these hands, are they the same color? And it just looks a little bit darker, but not much. I mean, you could probably swap them from the old one to the new one. Now it's kind of comparison time, and let's get these to where there's not too much glare on them. But I have to say, I absolutely like the new painted one so much better. One of my problems with Magic Square all along has been the level of paint. A lot of people complain about the materials, and I'm okay with them at a Legend scale. Materials-wise, I'm not worried about it. So looking at it, you do have a frosted front here. The window is transparent and frosted, where this is painted blue. So there's a big difference between that. Also looking at it, the gray is a bit darker. You don't have the white. So the more tune accurate with the more white is the way it looks on the original one. The silver over here is just part of the painted and makes it look more like that. Down here with the lower legs, I do like the way this blue pops and the glistening of it. Just the whole figure all around glistens. Let's do a side comparison of them, and there they are now. Exact same mold. There's nothing different about it, but as you can see, it just seems so much more premium than the other one. Here they are from the back, and of course, most people don't display theirs from the back, so they don't really care. They're not too concerned about it, but that's how it looks. It's still a relatively clean figure, and like it was before, but with a much better paint job. It looks so good. Is next to the Hot Soldiers, I think it's the Hot Soldiers one, and then this one here is the KO of the Generation toy. So all these are probably in great scale. They work together. I always kind of liked him. He had a bit of a sheen on his plastic, but I think this is way better design now paint wise. And then we can throw in a McFan's Toys Ultra Magnus just for fun. And I got a bunch of primes and some prime bots, and see how that looks. Now let's get these guys focused in real good. If you do a comparison of this guy, or just have him next to the Agamemnon Megatron, you're gonna see that it looks really good. In fact, there was a time where I was like, this is the best painted Legends figure I have on my shelf. Now Magic Square has one-upped them and has this one. It looks so good. They look great together. And even though the Magic Square, I think the design is better, the paint is better on this guy. I just like the way this guy looks so much more. Hopefully they do the same thing with their Megatron, but it's gonna start getting expensive. Here are some more Magic Square options out here. Hopefully this is a little bit better angle. And he's just so shiny, he's so reflective. As you can see, these other flat ones, they don't put off the shine and reflectiveness that this guy does. But side by side, do they still look? I think it looks okay. I'd much rather see more of them dialed out with this paint. Maybe I would just start waiting on releases myself to start getting the EX version. Imagine this thing took well over a year to come out like this, and hopefully this is Magic Square turning over a new leaf. But still, it'll work with your collection right now. I don't mind Optimus Prime looking super stellar and awesome compared to everyone else. I also feel like Magic Square does pretty good with comparing to like the McFan's Toys. I can think Galvatron could be a little bit bigger than Prime. I can think this guy could be a little bit bigger than Prime. I'm A-okay with that scale. I think they all look good. I don't know if very many people are really going to be displaying them side by side like that, but it's looking good, and scale-wise, I like the scale of this Prime. Trying to get an optical illusion working here. I never can seem to get my optical illusion to work right. But anyway, next to the original first run Magic Square Optimus Prime for the Masterpiece. And what would this figure look like with this kind of a paint job? How would this figure look? It would look outstanding. Now, some of the differences that you see between this is you see like the clear pieces in here. That one doesn't have it. I bet if they did this paint job on this guy, you'd have these clear pieces there. I do like the windows. They are very similar, except those are a lot lighter, so you can see more of what's going on in there. These are a bit darker, so you don't see so much of what's going on inside of that one. And so I would like to see them do something more like this with this. Now this does have the chrome bits on it, so that's something that's pretty good. something that you don't actually have on this guy. So there are some upgrades. That's chrome, that's not chrome, that's just silver paint. Looking at the back here, and you can see just a little bit more of the chrome detailing that you got on the Masterpiece. You didn't get on this. I'm sure they would carry the chrome forward if they did this in a Masterpiece line, but come on, bring us more Masterpiece, paint them really well, and paint all your legends as well. This has been the Magic Square MS-B18X Plus. This is a very well painted version of this figure that has already been put out by Magic Square, already is a good figure. Now the paint made it great. I think this company is turning over a new leaf. I think that they're going to start with these extra paint jobs. Hopefully they carry it into any MPs that they do in the future. Hopefully they carry this forward with, say, maybe their Ultra Magnus. If you like the Super Toon look, those are still available. If you like a bit of a real world with an extra paint job, this is available. I got a link down below for you. You can get this at Show Z. Like, subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.